Salutations, episode 7, and today we've got a new challenge build for you guys. Today we are covering the Sloth Sniper Rifle. This is a really fun sniper. I love playing with it. It's a doll sniper, and I guess it's a pretty good sniper. However, I guess the real challenge here is, can I prove to you that Sniper Gaige is actually viable? Let's see. So we are running a Shock Sloth. This thing was super fun. A Shock Sloth on loader bots. So armored enemies. Because I'm a genius. What can I say? No, this is not exactly the best outcome, but we are running it this way because, well, I felt like it. That's really it. I mean, I was trying this out with a corrosive variant. I tried it out with a corrosive variant first, and honestly, it didn't really play as well. I definitely preferred the Shock Sniper here, just simply because when it came to like the AR loaders and shielded targets in here, they were so much more difficult to deal with the corrosive one. And I didn't feel like swapping for a singular freaking shield in the room, so I decided Shock is just the better option. That, and I'm right here showing off how much freaking Shock DR I have. Mylan is broken with the blockade. It is crazy. We get a ton of DR from having the elemental DR and having the blockade. It's beautiful. Absolutely wonderful. And heck, I was doing pretty well with the sniper in the beginning. I mean, when it came to the gunplay, it was kind of mid. This is probably not one of my better performances, but I did stack up quite a bit of Anarchy early on. Like, for a sniper, we're at 42 stacks, and for the most part, we're killing things decently well. We're not having any ammo issues, and we're doing enough damage to just ignore most of the times that we're getting hit, because we get hit by one of the shock orbs, and then we freaking kill the guy that shot the shock orb, and then everybody else is either melee or gun, and we're kind of just like not getting hit by them. Or when we do, it's not enough to matter. So we're getting away with it, and we're playing relatively up front. Now, some people would say it's because blood-soaked shields, and honestly, I would disagree. I don't really like this skill, honestly. The only thing that I like is like that small boost to keep that shield regen just barely above the survival threshold. But outside of that, it's kind of just like, eh? I've noticed it taking HP away from me more so than I'm healing from it, really. For a lot of the cases that I'm actually proccing it. Because most of the time, by the time I freaking kill an enemy, I've hid long enough to get my shield back up, and I just got around the corner and killed it. And if I stayed up in front and tried to tank another blast, because of the amount of health that I've lost, I wouldn't have gotten through it. So I'm not really a big fan of blood-soaked shields, as much as people love to use it. I would, at most, invest like 2 points in it. And that's really about it. I don't see a reason to put more than that. We're getting 40% of our shields back every time we kill a target. And we're getting shield regen, which is a decent speed shield regen. So I don't really see a purpose in it. Now, okay, so I was blazing this gun a minute ago, but when it comes to super BAs, it's kind of annoying. We deal amazing damage, but it's also kind of annoying to hit the small little spot between their torso and their arm like this, especially when they're facing away from me. What I should have done here is I should have refocused and shot the legs in the crit spot there instead of trying to focus for the eye, but I didn't do that. And honestly, I feel like the way that I played it here ended up being the right play in the long term. If I wanted to kill the target immediately, I probably could have gotten away with it. It would have been the riskier but more damage option. They would have gotten through faster. But the way that I did play it, where I ran up the side wall there, I took that first hit, and then I recovered with the quick singularity, and not singularity, freaking transfusion, a quick transfusion and nice shield regen, and then the BA loader. The BA loader freaking got murked after I refocused my sniper. The issue there was refocusing the sniper, and oh, I also got really bad slag luck this run. I've been getting really bad slag luck recently, and I don't know why. Oh, I was trying to shoot the eye here without shooting the arm, and it just wasn't working. I just couldn't get it to work. I got one off. The goal was to hit it enough to stagger it, and then once it was staggered, then I could just press it. For the most part, the times that I don't kill the target within like a couple bursts is because I freaking missed the follow-up shots because I didn't cancel. That's really it. Oh, dot. So I have Evil Enchantress on here. Although Evil Enchantress itself isn't doing too much, what's going on is it's giving me enough dot damage, going just above the threshold to prevent their health regen from healing. So dot being used to cancel out health regen for the enemies here, which I feel like that's another niche way of utilizing it, because I don't really see many people utilize dot that way. Intentionally not over investing in it to the point where it's your primary damage source, but just investing enough to prevent targets from healing after blasting them and needing to reload. But it's not always useful, especially if your goal is to just nuke the target anyways. If you're just gonna kill the target, then why spend time waiting for it? Oh, the only thing that could really down me in this run were, well, the super BAs for one, and then two, hot loaders. Hot loaders were kind of scary, and the reason for it is because if I got tagged by one of the shock orbs and then got tagged by a fireball, the dot would last just long enough to down me, which is super annoying. No, but stacking Anarchy, honestly, I didn't really notice a difference in my accuracy very much going through this with my stacking Anarchy. It's like the initial shot, we line it up, we shoot, the other bullets tend to follow, and it works just fine. The only issue for me was either not canceling properly, or enemies would move in or move out of the way after I shot their crit spot, and so they would just like freaking Neo Matrix the other two shots from the burst. Just freaking sidestep it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But I had a lot of fun with the setup. Now, we are running the Chaotic Evil Necromancer because of the bonus shock damage, and like from Wires Don't Talk, getting a lot of shock damage out of this. We're at 11 out of 5, but there is something of note here to think about with this. The Chaotic Evil Necromancer gives bonus crit as its primary stat, and so we're increasing our crit damage. Snipers get that base 100% crit unless they're Jacobs, so we're getting 100% bonus critical hit damage from the sniper. We're getting an additional 50-something% from the Chaotic Evil Necromancer, and that's the majority of our crit. So we're getting 150-ish%. It's all type 1, so that's probably still more effective than having a 60% damage increase for a flat accuracy reduction. It's probably still more effective than doing it that way, especially with the skills that we get access to with the Chaotic Evil Necromancer instead of running an Anarchy. Yeah, I still think it's better, but it's still kind of weird to run this way. The only reason why we run it this way is because we're using the shock sniper instead of utilizing type matching. But in this scenario, I would argue that shock gauge is better than type matching. Just simply the ease of swapping between weapons. We're not having to overly swap, which is one of Gaige's weaknesses, is not having increased swap speed anywhere, and only having one elemental type that you have to use. It makes it so much easier to adjust around that. You only need to switch once, switch off, switch back, and you're nuking things. And heck, if you get lucky with your interspersed outburst shot, you no longer need to switch to slag weapons either. And you don't even need to do that if you have a slag grenade. So the really big wins for Gaige here, for shock Gaige over utilizing a elemental or like a miscellaneous element for the target, the matching element, is you just don't have to swap. What's the point in swapping? What's the point in needing a swap speed skill if you don't need to swap your weapons? And I definitely feel like it's a better way of thinking about it than a lot of people who are like, well, shock doesn't give you enough damage to match, or it's not enough damage for it to be better than matching elements. Matching elements is still on par or better depending on the scenario. And I'm just like, yes, in terms of raw damage, that is the case. However, a lot of the times in Borderlands 2 that I've seen, the skills that give damage, they're not really helping all too much. You could probably get rid of a lot of the skill-based damage and still be perfectly fine. And then getting some of these elemental buffs that just match out, like, that just match to the other element matching targets, it's like, I'm getting enough damage to just use shock weapons on everything, and that's perfectly fine. And I feel like that's the better way to think about it. Instead of saying that it's the same or just barely less damage, it's, hey, we are getting we no longer need to swap weapons at all because of this. Or we are massively reducing our need to swap weapons because of this. And I definitely think people underplay that a lot. It's one of the reasons why I love shock Gaige. Instead of running an Anarchy-based Gaige, I don't have to swap, and swapping isn't her strong suit, and that's perfectly okay. It doesn't fit the archetype of a lot of the other characters, which is probably one of the reasons why people tend to overlook it. Swap speed is such a valuable thing on a whole bunch of other characters. They're like, oh, but swap speed, and I'm just like, you know what? No swap. How about that? I just don't swap. Skip you. and look at this. We're stacking damage. We're at 120 Anarchy stacks. And I'm still landing shots with this sniper rifle. And heck, I just shot 2 body shots with that. 2 hip shots. No ADSing. There was no effort put into that. It just boom. Now, I don't know if it's a gimmick with this sniper or if it's a, hey, all snipers are gonna work this way. But holy heck, this sniper worked really well. And once I got to 134 stacks, like 135 here, this amount of damage is kind of about where I was expecting the difference based off of what people have been talking about. This is about the amount that I was expecting the difference to be between using shock versus using matching elements on a shock Gaige build because of how much trash talk happens. But no, they're roughly the same. They're just a little bit more damage on the corrosive versus the bots, but we're also not needing to switch for their shields. In other news, I'm done with my freaking rant about the build. Let's see here. I am working on, well, okay, actually, let's think about scheduling. So I want to set up a schedule where I'm doing consistent Borderlands 2 and 3 builds, because I started off my channel doing Borderlands 3 builds, and then I shifted into Borderlands 2 this year, and I'm mostly just focused on Borderlands 2. And now I kind of want to at least start to go back a little bit. I made a video on the Bearcat, but that was a special request from a friend, and not because I was going to go back to Borderlands 3. And after reading some of the comments and having some people chat with me about it, they very much miss me running Borderlands 3 stuff, and I feel kind of bad. So, and I've been receiving comments on some of my Borderlands 3 videos asking for new things, or new people showing up and saying that they're thankful for my videos or whatnot. So I am definitely thinking on doing more Borderlands 3 stuff. Maybe I might alternate it every week, do one Borderlands 2 video, one Borderlands 3 video, or I'm thinking posting 2 videos a week if I have time. Whenever I have time to do so, getting a Borderlands 2 video out and a Borderlands 3 video out, just like one Saturday, one Sunday, maybe. I don't know. Do you guys comment? What are your thoughts on it? Would you guys like to see a Borderlands 2 video on Saturdays and a Borderlands 3 video on Sundays? Vice versa? Would it be better for you guys for me to post on Sunday than Saturday for the Borderlands 2 videos? What do you guys think? And I have been sleeping on this slag transfusion. I haven't been utilizing it like at all up until now. I recently tried it out. I got one. I got one in my Krieg playthrough, and I was like, "Whoa, this is kind of crazy." And now I've started using it in I've started using it on Gaige, and I'm just like, this is really good. Why haven't I been using this? Oh, so the range that I found for this specific weapon for balancing Anarchy, because I'm gonna talk about balancing Anarchy like every time I have a video where I'm balancing it. With this weapon, it was the 130s to 160s range. That was about the most optimal range that I found for stacking with Anarchy with this weapon. We don't want to go above 160 as the accuracy starts to fall off there, and we don't want to go beneath 130 as that's below optimal damage. But look at that! Look at that! Freaking chunked his shield bar. No need for a freaking corrosive weapon at this point if we're just gonna nuke the shield like that. Look at this. I have 137 Anarchy stacks, and we're gonna start shooting at those legs. We're gonna start shooting at those leg joints. We're gonna see how many crits we get if I don't end up blowing myself up on there. Look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna switch to slag him. While being juggled by barrels, we are still consistently landing crits at 141 Anarchy stacks against Hurley, against his leg joints. For those of you who can't land shots above Anarchy stack freaking 50, I think it's a skill issue, and I think you may need to get your eyes checked out. As I did today. Yeah, I got my freaking eyes checked out today. But that's to be the end of this video, and see y'all in the next one. It's StereoLotus77 signing off.